what exactly is self-improvement, why it is important, and why is it that we usually don't really get into it. But why there is a need to seek self-improvement? Don't we improve ourselves, or doesn't it happen automatically as we grow old?
We can fall back into the same patterns over and over, and we can wonder that why this happens to me all the time, why situation is not changing. So sort of we start to feel stagnant in the situation.
Why do you think there is lack of motivation among people?
Self-improvement is a pill that you take when you are maybe sad or depressed or things are not working out for you. Within couple of days or months, you change your life completely, or you find hidden treasures maybe, and you become wealthy and all of that.
Yeah.
So people don't understand that it is not.
I learned one thing, that some of the people, they think self-improvement is toxic. So what is your take on that?
There is a darker aspect to the whole self-improvement game. It is not just about knowing something, right? It is about using it in your day-to-day life.
But I always wonder what would happen if someone doesn't try to self-improve actively. Hello, and welcome to the new episode of our podcast, From You to You. Here, we discuss all the possibilities of becoming the best version of you, physically, mentally, emotionally, psychologically, and spiritually. I am Afrin Khan, an internationally certified yoga teacher and a healthy lifestyle coach.
Hey there, I am Shirin Khan and I am a certified life coach.
Shireen,
Yeah.
as you are a certified life coach, and one of the most important topics that being a life coach you handle on daily basis, and even I, in my practice, is about self improvement.
Yeah, of
Right?
course.
So that's what I feel we should talk about today in
Yeah.
detail. What exactly is self improvement? Why it is important? And why is it that we usually don't really get into it? So different aspects of it. So what is your take on that? What is self improvement?
Going by the definition, anytime we are consciously involving ourselves in an effort to improve is self improvement. Okay, and human beings have this propensity to constantly want to improve themselves. I think this is the fundamental difference between other living beings and humans, that we constantly want to better ourselves. I mean, I see my cats ever since I have brought them home, they were kitten. Their needs have not changed, you know. They want to just eat, they want safety, they want to sleep, a lot of it, but they don't have any need to improve themselves. So it is only a human need that we want to better ourselves at all times.
But why there is a need to seek self improvement? Don't we improve ourselves, or doesn't it happen automatically as we grow old?
uh, we do gain some experience as we grow old,
Mhm.
because obviously through life experiences we learn so many things and we understand so many concepts. But the difference between learning deliberately and learning with age is that when we are learning deliberately, we can plan our actions to any situation beforehand. But when we are learning with experience, it is the learning is after we have gained the experience, so it is sort of the reaction to whatever has happened. So this form of learning is only reactive, whereas improving deliberately is something you are proactively doing it. So that you can, you know, form your actions and choose consciously whatever outcome that you want. For example, at work, someone has a boss who is always angry, who is always yelling. Okay, so over a period of time, you develop sort of tolerance to that situation, and then you may want to avoid your boss, or you may want to, you know, just not be present when he is around so that he doesn't yell at you. For some time, this approach may work, but what happens when he finds you and you have to deal with him again? Then the same thing continues.
Yeah.
The max you can do is you can change your job, but what if you find a similar boss in the next job as well? So in this kind of situation, like you are growing and learning with the experience to maybe not face your boss, but when you want to handle this issue at the core level, you will make a deliberate effort wherein you are understanding what triggers people in general,
Right.
and what improvement you need in your behavior, maybe in your work skills, etc., so that you don't bring this situation again, no matter where you go.
Mhm.
So this is the difference between, learning with experiences and deliberately making an effort to learn and improve your skills. So without constantly improving ourselves, we can fall back into the same patterns over and over, and we can wonder that why this happens to me all the time, why situation is not changing. So sort of we start to feel stagnant in the situation.
Right. By the way, that you have mentioned this example of the boss, I think I have that experience.
Everyone does.
Yeah, I had that kind of a boss, like my senior, and I resigned and I changed my job. And the next place, similar guy. So you are right. I think no matter how many jobs you change, there is no guarantee that you are going to find a senior or superior who would be friendly or encouraging. And in this situation, the only thing we can do is improve ourselves.
Of course.
Yeah.
Because every time you will find yourself in the similar situations and patterns are repeating for you, it is a very good indicator that self work is needed, something you need to change in you.
Yeah.
Because that's the only thing you can control, right? You cannot control other people as such, but by changing your behavior, by changing your habits and your beliefs,
Mhm.
and changing your perceptions, you can experience the world in a different way.
Totally understand. But Shireen, what is the reason that people usually don't indulge into self improvement?
There are so many reasons. First of all, it takes a lot of awareness on our part to understand that there is need to improve, because I think it's our default setting or something that we feel we are good people, we are good enough, we have all the skills, we have all the knowledge. Whenever we experience small setbacks in life, we don't sit and think we need to improve. We kind of shift the blame.
Yeah.
Like in case of the example we just gave of boss and employee, it is very easy to blame that my boss is an angry man,
Yeah.
or my boss is crazy.
Horrible.
Yeah, my boss is horrible. We can simply shift the blame, and you can do this your whole life. So if you are not taking the responsibility, obviously you will not realize that there is need for improvement.
Mhm.
In other cases, people don't want to indulge in improving themselves, because especially I have experience in my clients who are older adults. They feel like they have lived for 40, 50 years in a certain way. Self improvement is challenging. It will challenge the beliefs, the things that you have been thinking are important. It's kind of shifting your reality.
Mhm.
So they don't want to go through that, because it will nullify whatever they have done for so many years.
Yeah.
It will, completely change whatever they have been believing. So that's the reason people don't want to put themselves in the situation. Even in general, change is very, very difficult for people.
Yeah.
We all want to stay in a comfort zone. If we are not improving, we will further not be motivated to improve. So if active efforts have not been there on our part initially, like as soon as we have identified there is a need for improvement, then further we will lack motivation to do so. So these are some of the reasons that people don't indulge in self improvement actively.
Shireen, you mentioned that people are not motivated for self improvement, whereas the rewards are awesome. I mean, if you think. So, why do you think there is lack of motivation among people?
Often what happens, if you have understood that you need to change some of your habits, some of your behaviors or perceptions, but you have not actively worked on them, if you have not actively participated in learning new things, dopamine won't be there in your system, and because of lack of dopamine you will feel lack of motivation, and because of lack of motivation you will not indulge in self improvement. So you will get into kind of a cycle, then you won't be feeling motivated to do anything, let alone self improvement.
Okay, so what you are saying, as I understand, is we when we learn new things, dopamine reward system makes us happy and excited.
Of course.
So these are the people, they are not really used to that kind of dopamine reward of by learning new things,
Of course.
right? So that's why they kind of not really get into it. So what do you think, how can they come out of it?
When it comes to self improvement, action brings more action. If you are taking small steps, because obviously, if you are not motivated, you are not going to take bigger steps towards self development. So, taking smaller steps, making progress would help learn new things, set new goals, achieve new milestones. Then it will give you more dopamine and more motivation to achieve bigger goals. So, just starting somewhere, I think that that is where you will break this cycle.
Hmm. That reminds me of a quote by Rumi. He says, as you start to walk on the way appears.
Yeah, that's absolutely right on point.
As a self improvement coach, what do you think some of the misconceptions that people have about self improvement itself?
People have many misconceptions. The biggest misconception I would say people have is self improvement is a pill that you take when you are maybe sad or depressed or things are not working out for you. Within couple of days or months, you change your life completely, or you find hidden treasures maybe, and you become wealthy and all of that.
Yeah.
So people don't understand that it is not a quick fix, or it's not a shortcut for success, but it is a lifelong journey.
Yeah.
And it is a way to live by constantly improving yourself. So I get a lot of clients like who want, give me, in 5 steps I want to succeed, or give me just 3 steps to make my relationship better. That is initially I'm talking when they approach me.
Yeah.
Okay, later on, obviously, they understand the true self improvement, what it means. Okay, I would say like it is not even people's fault. The way self improvement is put out there in the media, we have like thousands of books available on self improvement. We have a lot of podcasts available on the topic. So people listen to that, and it's derivative type of content available, and they start to think it is that easy. Other misconception is that people think self improvement is for an individual to improve. Yes, of course it is. Like by doing meditation practices, by learning about emotional intelligence, by setting goals, by achieving the goals, obviously you are improving your own life. But I think the major part we fail to see is that how we impact the world around us. For me, it is the major part. Individually, yes, you are making an effort, you are improving, your health is improving, your finances are improving, but the major part is giving back to people who you live with, maybe, or who you come in connection on a day to day basis. So, when you are indulging in self work, you will understand a lot about emotions, like what is anger, why people get, but if you're just learning the concept for learning the concepts, obviously you're not putting it into practice, and it will maybe improve you for understanding purposes, but the practicality of it is lost in the process. So I think people think it is only about learning the concepts. That's why we see people consume self improvement content a lot, but are we all improved?
Yeah, that doesn't happen. And I have felt one thing though, because even I am big on self improvement and I constantly feel a need of working on myself and fixing the things which I feel are wrong, or maybe because I constantly think what flaws I have and I like to correct them. So, I have realized that okay, even if I come up with 10 flaws and I fix 10 of them, even in the process of fixing them, 5 more will come.
Yeah.
It's like, it's a process, it constantly keep you up, and you constantly keep feeling that there is more need, more flaws are there, or more mistakes you keep making.
Yes.
So I feel the process never stops.
Of course, it does not stop.
There is something very interesting and surprising too, which I want to discuss with you. So, the other day, online, while going through self improvement and related stuff, I found some forums like people were discussing there. And Some of them called self improvement as a toxic thing. Okay, and there was a huge discussion with so many people involved. And I learned one thing, that some of the people, they think self improvement is toxic. So, what is your take on that?
There is a darker aspect to the whole self improvement game. Okay. So, first of all, like you said, once you start indulging in self improvement, you see, like, there are so many things that you want to improve even in the process. So, people can really, really go deep in that. They try to become perfectionists, and then they can completely get lost. They can even lose the confidence who they were in the beginning, even they can lose that while in the process. So that is one of the biggest flaws. There's many people get lost in the process and they don't know the way out. And like I said, people understand theoretical concepts more and they don't know how to implement it. Not only that, there are a lot of people and lot of preaching happening, which I would not call it self improvement. For example, people say if you find jealous people, get rid of them. How it is self improvement? Because this way you are just leaving the people behind, not even gaining the understanding of why that person was jealous or how you can make the whole situation better for you. Or people are like, if someone is angry with you, just get rid of them because they are narcissistic. So if the preaching is like this and we are consuming self improvement in this shape, way and form, obviously we will think it is toxic, right? So understanding what true self improvement is, that is important for it to not feel like it is toxic. Another thing is that many people have experienced this and that's why they think it is a bad thing, because when people improve themselves, okay, they are forming better habits, they are going to gym more often, they are eating healthy, and obviously they are learning things about human mind, how human emotions work, about emotional intelligence and all of that, and they start to feel like they are better than the rest who are not working on themselves. So they start to behave in a pompous way, and obviously, looking at them, they are setting a wrong example. And people are like, if self improvement makes you pompous, then better we don't indulge in that.
Hmm. So basically, instead of becoming humble, you
Yeah,
are becoming an arrogant person.
of
So
course.
that sounds like, from the outside, it certainly looks like toxic and kind of gives you a superiority complex.
Of course.
That makes sense, Shireen. I think that sounds like quite a dark side
Yeah.
of self improvement. And I'm sure when you are dealing with your clients, you might be facing this too. So, how do you deal with it? How do you help these clients to stay on the right path and not get into that self righteousness zone?
Afrin, for me, self improvement is not just a concept, it is like a way of life and it is very practical for me. So I make sure that whenever I am making my client understand about any concept, be it self awareness, be it living an authentic life, be it about, understanding emotions or whatever, I give them very practical steps, okay, that they can follow to implement tomorrow when the situation comes. So it is not only that, accountability is a major part of my coaching, and clients take responsibility for their actions. So I think it is through my coaching process, I make people understand that it is not important to just learn the concept or understand it, but live it in practical life.
Yeah.
It is not just about knowing something, right? It is about using it in your day to day life, and
Yeah.
that is where they find the balance, because you don't have to take out extra time to learn something new. It is like while you are living a life, you can implement things that you have learned. So it is, I think, my practical approach that helps people to live the concept rather than just learning it.
That's a powerful way of coaching, Shireen. But I always wonder what would happen if someone doesn't try to self improve actively.
Okay, let me ask you something. What happens if you do not update your iPhone when they have sent you an update?
Um, my phone slows down, some of the features don't work, and even the existing applications don't function the way they were working before.
Exactly. Something similar happens to people when they don't improve themselves. They get into a stagnation zone. They cannot succeed at anything. they fall into a place where they just see darkness, and they feel like nothing is changing in their life, because actually nothing is changing in their life. On worldly level, you stop to grow.
Yeah.
You do not get any success in your jobs, in your careers or business that you are doing, and also your personal and professional relationships start to affect, because you are not willing to change, and you are kind of stubborn in your ways.
Yeah.
So obviously other people move ahead of you, and that kind of gives you inferiority complex, and that can give you a lot of stress, anxiety, and even you can get depressed. So this is one part of it. Another part of it is whatever failure that you are experiencing in your professional and personal life, that pressure starts to get to you, and you start to feel really unfulfilled. And when you are feeling unfulfilled, obviously you are completely unhappy with the situations, with the surroundings, with yourself, and you become this person like nobody wants. So this is a long process. This does not happen overnight, obviously. But when someone gets old, and their biggest regret is, like, even if they are not saying it explicitly with words, that I should have worked on these things. If I would have worked on these relationships, my life would be looking better right now. So not to get into that, not to regret in the later life when you cannot do anything about it. It is better to improve yourself as it comes.
Yeah, that's scary actually, because it is true, time slips away, and if we don't work on ourselves, we grow old, because that process is never gonna stop,
Yeah.
and we grow old with so many flaws.
It is like flaws, of course, that is one part, but there is immense potential in everyone.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when you are stopping yourself actively, you're not improving yourself, you won't be able to live your potential. Nothing is as sad as not living your full potential.
Agreed.
And that will make you unfulfilled as well.
Yeah.
So I think that's what happens. That is the bottom line. If you do not constantly improve, you do not even live your purpose. You don't have connection with yourself. You don't have connection with the people around you, or even your surroundings.
Yeah.
So I mean, we can imagine how unfulfilled and how unsatisfied this kind of people might feel.
Yeah, yeah, that is totally understandable, because life never stops. People around you won't stop for you. Everyone is
Getting
busy.
ahead, yeah.
Everyone is busy with their lives. And if someone is feeling that some part of their life needs attention, I think it is their responsibility to pay attention there instead of ignoring it.
Yeah.
So, self improvement is extremely important. It's like a wholesome concept. Shireen, many clients, when they come to me for healthy lifestyle coaching,
Yeah.
my advice to them is to get rid of the old habits, unhealthy habits, of course. But then soon they come back to me saying that the new habits are causing them so much stress, and they find it better the old ways.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what is your take on that?
Of course, Afrin, if you are trying to change something in you, if you are trying to cultivate new habits, it will cause you stress, because your brain will signal it as a threat. Your fight or flight mechanism will be activated when you're trying to make a change. But you know what? Stress is good sometimes. In biology, there is a phenomenon called hormesis. What this concept talks about is manageable stress in small doses can be good for you, because it will build resilience in you to face bigger stress later on in your life. So, if they are experiencing small stress, that will increase their capacity to handle the stresses in a much better way. It will improve physical resilience, emotional resilience as well, and it will increase body's capacity to go through bigger stresses. So obviously in the beginning it is stressful, it is supposed to be stressful, it's not going to be easy. It will make them much stronger person, much better person moving forward. But when people are putting themselves in a deliberate situation that is stressful, and the stress is manageable, it builds their immunity. It also keeps them away from getting different illnesses. It is this kind of stress is, we can call, a good stress.
Yeah, I think even if you want to control your mind, the stubbornness of your mind, even in yoga and meditation, we always talk about this, that you need to do things your mind don't want to do. In the sense, Mind wants comfort, okay?
Yeah.
Because it wants to keep you in a comfortable position, and naturally your body craves for comfort. So in that situation, in that scenario, you are supposed to go out of that comfort zone, not like in danger,
Yeah,
but yeah,
manageable.
manageable. So that way your mind now knows, okay, even if it's going to throw some tantrums, want to be in a comfortable position, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So that way you build resilience and your mind gets strong.
Yeah. Also, it builds habit of, going through the stress. That's a given.
Now there is another group of people.
Yeah.
They get into self improvement with so much passion and enthusiasm, and they do everything. They go for yoga, meditation, exercise, healthy diet,
Yeah.
right, and affirmations, visualization, whatever you ask them to do, they practice it for some time.
Yeah.
But soon they come back disappointed, saying nothing is working,
Yeah.
and my life didn't change. I am doing everything, I did everything, but nothing changed. And they kind of lose motivation to go further with the
Yeah.
discipline. So what would you like to say about that?
It is understandable. Even I get clients who start self improvement, okay, and couple of months down the line, they feel like nothing is working. Things are not working out. Even there are some clients who have been to other life coaches before, and they say that it didn't work for them before. There are many reasons why this happens. First of all, people give up too soon.
Yeah.
So everyone wants quick results. So they feel like I said earlier, self improvement is a pill, and as soon as they start chanting mantras, as soon as they start doing yoga, meditation, their life should improve drastically.
Yeah.
But it does not happen like that. It takes some time to form a habit. It takes some time, a lot of time, to your body and your mind to understand the changes that you are making, because you have been living in certain lifestyle for a long time, and it is not easy to get used to the new lifestyle.
Yeah.
It's not about making the change, okay, for today. It is about living the change for your life. Research on epigenetics. So epigenetics is the study of how environment and other factors affect the way genes are expressed. Research on epigenetics suggests when you form good habits and positive behavior, like exercising more, you have less mental stress, you're managing your stress in a better way, you're challenging your brain to learn new things, it can activate beneficial gene expression related to longevity and great mental health and physical health. And similarly, bad habits and bad behavior, like indulging in drug abuse, say for example, or taking stress for a longer time, can cause harmful genetic changes.
That really blows my mind, how the environment or external factor is affecting the gene expression.
Yeah, but to experience this kind of permanent changes, you have to be good behavior and good habits for a long time. It is not happening overnight, right? Not even in couple of months. Live the change.
That is really interesting research. It really blows my mind, that external factors like environment and good habits can also change the gene expression, okay?
Yeah.
Which is something I never heard of before. And especially these days, the clients, most of them, they want quick fixes. Okay,
Of course. Yeah.
the generation has become such, because everything is happening quick. You know, everything is
Yeah.
happening just
Instant
like instant
gratification. Yeah.
gratification has become very prominent, and they want hacks, they want shortcuts, they want just three secrets to success and three secrets to relationship or whatever. So in such an atmosphere or such an environment, does it make your job very difficult?
Yes, you are right. I said even earlier, when people approach me in the beginning, they think like they are going to a genie who is going to grant them wishes, okay, and who is going to give them formula for success.
Right.
And with those one or two sessions that they are going to have, not only with me, with any life coach, it is going to change their life. It does change the life. I am not saying it does not, but a lot of our client has to do themselves, as well. As a coach, I do give them 5 steps or 3 steps or whatever. Obviously, they reach to that solution themselves. That okay, they need to do XYZ steps to reach the desired outcome. Of course, that happens, but in the process, they understand that self improvement is much deeper than that. They understand that there are pieces of them that they need to put together in order to achieve bigger goals, and their focus kind of shifts from the quick fixes and quick hacks, but they learn to look at the bigger picture, how they are being in this world, how they are impacting the world, and all those deeper aspects of their life which they had never looked at, those start to appear. So I'm fine if, even if they feel in the beginning that it is that easy to reach success or anything, because it's a process, right?
Yeah.
And they are allowed, because self awareness somewhere is not there where it needs to be, so they are allowed to think that way. It's understandable.
Yeah, and I think if someone is really serious about self improvement, as per my experience as well, so out of 10 people, one would be really serious. He or she really want to get better, and no matter what amount of time it would take, they won't give up. I mean,
Yeah,
I can say this from my personal example as well. When I got into self improvement, and in the beginning things are very difficult. I think beginnings are always difficult,
of course.
and it takes time to completely change your old ways, repattern your life. But if you really want it, if that is what your purpose and life goal is, no amount of delay would stop you.
And with all this hard work, they know that they are going to live a wholesome life. Actually, they start to live. So, for example, someone has come to me for a financial goal. They understand that just achieving financial goal is not the purpose of their life. So they start to work on all areas of life to live a much fulfilled life in all the things that they do, be it their work, be it their personal life, be it spirituality, whatever that they are doing, they get most of it. They learn to live in the moment.
Mm. So they come to you to work on one aspect of life, but they automatically get introduced to the other aspects as well. So they kind of now they want to work on all of different angles,
Of course,
different aspects.
that's the magic
That
of coaching, I
yeah,
would say.
that's awesome. So Shireen, as we have discussed, self improvement is a process that never stops. So even though we are helping our students or clients to get better, we are simultaneously working on ourselves as well.
Of
So
course.
we are student as well as teacher at the same time. So what is your point of view as a student about self improvement?
Oh, yes, you rightly said that we are improving ourselves as well. There are so many aspects. So, growing up, I always had inclination to improve myself, improve the way I dress up, improve the way I look, improve the way I communicate. And that was majorly for, achieving success in my personal life, in my professional life. But now I understand the true meaning of self improvement. My focus has shifted. Okay, all those things are important, all those achievements are important, but now it is more about getting more emotionally intelligent, focusing on mastery, mastering my craft, learning the spiritual aspects of me. Now, instead of finding external validation, the focus has shifted more inward. It is like, putting all the shadows and all the parts of me together, like how Carl Jung has said, the shadows that we have in us, which are like our ego, the anger, and all those aspects, we are hiding those parts even from ourselves.
Yeah.
So it is about putting all the pieces together so that I can become this whole person that I was sent in this world to be.
Yeah.
And live my potential, and I can share the potential with the world and live my purpose. So it is more about that now.
Absolutely, I completely agree with you. What is really scary for me is time is not going to remain the same. Okay, so it's end of 2024, then
Yeah.
2025 will be there in a month or so, and how am I supposed to remain the same, right?
Yeah.
So I must change, and that change has to be a good change. So I think that is something which always keeps me up, keeps me going, inspires me as well.
Of course.
Yeah. So I feel the need of self improvement should be almost the basic need for everyone.
Actually, it is one of the very important needs of human beings. I remember there is a theory in philosophy. It is Maslow's need hierarchy theory,
Yeah.
and self improvement is there on that.
And I would go back to that statement where you said, people generally feel we are okay, we don't need self improvement. So that is one of the reasons.
And it makes me sad, when they say like it's okay and our life is pretty good itself, because it is lot of not unlived potential.
Yeah.
I see there's a lot of power in you, there's a lot of power in people, and they just don't know, they are unaware of it. And this
Yeah.
kind of naivete, it just makes me sad.
Yeah. Yes, like again, I would like to quote Rumi here. He said, you are an ocean in a drop.
Yeah.
So it's just like that. Although we look like this tiny human being, but we have immense and tremendous amount of potential that needs to be unlocked, and only the path of self improvement can lead us there.
Very true.
Yeah. So this is it in today's episode. Hope you like it. If you like it, give it a thumbs up. We would also love to read some comments. And we are there on Apple Podcast and Spotify. So if you are someone who listens to podcast, go ahead and subscribe our channel there as well. And if you haven't subscribed on YouTube, so this is the time to do that as well. Keep working on yourself and stay fit.